let me preface this by saying this is not a review. This is not an analysis. I don't know what people call them nowadays, but I watched Your Name, which is a anime movie where two teenagers wake up in each other's bodies and they start living through their lives, and they want to meet up. They want to know your name. That's the whole, tagline. If you watch the trailer, it's the whole thing how they both at the end say like, "What is your name?" And so I'm watching this movie, right? And it gets to a point where halfway through, or maybe like 40 or 30 minutes in, I turn to my brother and I say, why don't they just call each other? It seems really weird that they don't just call each other. But then there's a scene that shows that like the guy ends up trying to call the girl, and it's like, this phone is not in your area or not in your service or whatever. So then I thought, well, if that doesn't work, why don't they try using the internet or try just meeting up? And then my brother said to me, and mind you, again, I hadn't finished the movie at this point, but my brother said to me, uh, well, maybe they're in two different timelines. And I said, no, there's no way. I feel like that would be so dumb if they did that. There's no way they would do that. And it turns out, very heavy spoilers, I'm sorry, but yes, that's the truth, is that the girl is technically in backwards in time. She's in a past timeline, but it is in the same timeline as the boy. The boy is technically in the future, and the girl is in a past timeline, and she ends up dying because the whole thing about the show or this movie is that there's this meteor flying over, or like this comet or something, some astral thing, and a piece of it ends up like falling apart, and pieces of it end up crashing into the girl's little hometown, little boonies area. She lives out in the boonies. She wants to go to the city. The boy ends up living in a city. And so I was okay with this. I was like, oh, okay, so it's an anime movie, right? They have to add some kind of ridiculous thing like time travel. So, okay, fine, they got time travel. But maybe this is just me not really. No, because yeah. sorry. But like, throughout the movie, it's shown that like they're growing closer, but I wouldn't really call it romantically closer. I would more so just call it like they're getting to know each other better and they're getting to understand each other. But it's not really romantic in a sense. I never really felt like they were falling in love. I felt more so like they were becoming really, really good friends. And then there's a point in the movie where the boy tries to rewrite history or rewrite time by telling the girl to go and evacuate her city, so then that way she doesn't end up dying and the whole city is saved. And there's a point where they're starting to forget about each other. They're like, our memories of each other are leaving, and they're like, write down your name on my arm, so then that way when I look at it, I know that it's you and I'll remember you. But instead of writing his name down, the boy ends up writing "I love you" on her arm, right? It's like her arm or her hand, and he writes down "I love you," and it took me a moment because like I paused it and I was like, I guess they love each other. Like it very much wasn't romantic. I was like, they love each other. Like it, I don't know. The relationship for me at least didn't really scream romance. It wasn't like a Toradora. It wasn't like rather obvious that they were in love, and it took me out of the movie a little bit. And then like the girl does end up. Oh, by the way, I'm really spoiling this movie. Sorry if you didn't click off in time, but oh well. It's a really old movie. Uh, the girl ends up saving her town. She ends up moving to Tokyo, and it's revealed that like the boy, going back a little bit, the boy has like a dream or like a premonition of this girl that he met on a train, and she gave him like a scarf or some kind of like piece of clothing or something, and it's revealed that that actually does happen in like an alternate timeline because she does end up visiting the city. It's a whole thing. It's quite confusing. This is why I hate time travel. Time travel is so bad. Like it's just such a lazy way of writing. It's just like there's too many loopholes. No one's really perfected time travel. Time travel for me at least. Like I don't know. Maybe again you can have your own opinion. Please have your own opinion. But for me, time travel is always just like super lazy. It's super lazy and super easy of just like we have a problem, we need to solve it, or we need plot progression, so let's do time travel. It's very much how it feels for me. But at the very end of the movie, it's shown that they're like walking down a set of stairs, and they like look at each other, and then they both turn and go, "Can I know your name?" And it's like it's like a whole thing. I don't know, man. I mean, I never bought into them being romantically involved. There's a subplot where the girl is in the boy's body, and she's progressing a relationship with this girl at the boy's work. And I more so bought that they were gonna have a relationship, because like they actually seemed like they wanted to get romantically involved. The girl at the boy's work ends up trying to help her find the girl that he's switching bodies with. And I very much thought like it would end up being like he gives up on her because he knows that she's in a different timeline, and he ends up falling in love with the girl at his work because they ended up going on this journey together. They ended up getting to know each other more. But no, I mean, he does end up going on a date with her, but I don't know how. She could just be like, I know you love somebody else, so this isn't going to work out. But it's like the boy and the girl mostly bicker. They do have some times where they talk to each other, but they don't really give off a romantic vibe. At least not for me. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, there's love in all different shapes and forms, right? But for me, I couldn't buy into them being in love. It more so felt like they were really good friends who just maybe would have hung out. Maybe like if they couldn't find love anywhere else, they would settle down with each other, kind of friends. But like for me, I didn't really buy into the romance. Maybe you thought differently. Let me know. And with that, that's been me rambling about Your Name. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Check the links down below and subscribe for future rambles.